we're back today with another race in FFRL Fast Fridays Racing League, and it's the 8th round of the season then. We're getting towards the crunch point of the season now, just 10 races in this season, and yeah, we've got the Sao Paulo Grand Prix today then in Brazil, and we're coming here then now leading the championship after a win in both the sprint and the main race last time out in Mexico. So we'll see if we can hold on to it here then today. It should be quite an eventful one. You know, this track does tend to, you know, lend itself to some carnage at times and also just some great racing as well, so we'll see what happens. Obviously it's been a bit of a mixed bag for me as well in terms of championships in the past as well, but you know, it's not the deciding race, so I guess maybe we're a bit more safe this time, but we'll have to wait and see then. As I mentioned last time, I think whilst we are now in the lead, I think it's still, you know, Gamer Plays who is the favourite, just because their pace in like the normal race weekends has been so quick that yeah, they're very much still, I think, the driver to beat. But we'll see what we can do then as we cross the line, and we do improve on our time there, and we're back to being 5th on the grid then. Top welder on pole with W then, I think their best qualifying of the season in 2nd, JDM 3rd, Ben 4th, and yeah, us in 5th, Kieran 6th, and yeah, crucially we're ahead of then of Gamer then, who was 7th today, our teammate Mando in 14th, so yeah, bit of a mixed up grid then, and yeah, it should set things up then for quite an interesting race, even more so because it is actually raining then at the start, so yeah, we'll be on inters then, although it's looking like it's going to be dry before half distance, so shouldn't be too much wet running in this race, but we'll have to wait and see. You can't always rely on the weather graphic there to be entirely accurate, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens then. And yeah, just have to try and keep on the road then and try and judge the crossover point just right then, it looks like, in the early part of this race. As yet, we're going to the grid now then, and a lot of people leaving big gaps there down the field, so yeah, not really keeping it all bunched together then. Don't know if that was intentional or not from anyone, but yeah, we're going to be waiting on the grid for quite a while then as we park up quite nicely there, and yeah, we're going to, I think, skip it a little bit because it was just taking so long then for the grid to form up here because of, yeah, some big gaps down the field. And yeah, we are now finally then ready to start racing here, and the lights are coming on now. And the Grand Prix is underway then, and we've had a pretty good start there, I think, compared to Ben. Looks like we're getting alongside towards the first corner here, but we are on the outside line, so might be a bit tricky as there's a little bit of contact there between W and JDM in front of us, and then quite a few cars that are running wide in turn 2. Kieran's gone around the outside of us there, and we've been a little bit hung out to dry coming around turn 3, and yeah, we've got our championship rival right behind us there of Gamer Plays as into turn 4, and there's just so little grip. Ben's running to the back of W there and gone wide. We've slid out wide as well. It's just really tricky conditions here, just didn't feel like there was any grip at all, and we've slid down the order a little bit as Kessler was trying to pass us there but runs wide, and also there both Ben and Kieran also drifting out, so that allowed us to get the inside then, and we're back up then into 5th, so it wasn't too bad then in the end. It could have been a lot worse there, but yeah, we have dropped behind our championship rival there, Gamer Plays. Crucially, no Rolly tonight, so that was a shame for them that they couldn't join in with this then and yeah, continue to make it a 3-way title fight there. But we see then a replay of the start, and it is, and well, yeah, it was perfect there from top welder at the front, and yeah, we were alongside Ben, but just couldn't really get, you know, enough of a run around the outside there to really make it work. Quite a short run to the first corner, of course, and then yeah, we ended up passed by Kieran as well. But yeah, crucially later on then, we did manage to gain a few places back there as a few cars just drifted out wide, and yeah, we managed to get back past Ben and also Kieran there then. But yeah, just so little grip on this track, it really felt like, you know, we were driving on ice a bit, certainly on that first lap. But yeah, even still up in front, you can see a few cars struggling. Then W has been pushed out a little bit there, and get side by side with his teammate then, Gamer, and running outside the well, the leading Red Bull driver in the championship goes running outside then and is up into third, and we'll be trying to follow quite quickly if we can, because we want to keep but we don't want to lose too many points for him here then ideally. And that was, well, good for us then, not good for W, because yeah, he let the rear tyres there, and that allowed us to get through then and up into 4th place. So we'll see now then if we can keep that other Red Bull then in touch. But yeah, it was quite a quiet opening few laps here. We were comfortably quicker than the cars behind us, but yeah, we just couldn't really keep up with that front three. They showed a little bit more pace than us, so we were dropping back into a little bit of no man's land here. I did think maybe it would be time for slick tyres there, but I decided to wait another lap. But you can see it has stopped raining, so that was what I thought maybe it was worth trying to roll the dice there, because we did have a big gap behind us, and I can see there are a few cars that are coming in to put the dries on, so we may well have been a lap behind there. We'll have to wait and see though, as we are coming in then on the next lap to put the slick tyres on. But also there you can see Gamer has decided to do the same as us then, so you know, if we were going to look to try and gain an advantage there, then we sort of missed out a bit. But we could still both gain a bit on the top two then, depending on how this crossover is looking then. As yeah, well, see, we don't really have all the information available to us then to see how the other slick type runners were performing. But yeah, I think maybe we would have stayed out then, because yeah, just its initial impression was that yeah, they did not feel great. It did not feel quite ready for slick tyres just yet, as we were really sliding about there just to try and, you know, keep it all pointing in the right direction and out the barrier there coming out of the pit lane. So yeah, it was quite a tricky outlap here then, as yeah, it's looking just a little bit too early there. But I think just from the early people pitting has just sort of triggered sort of everyone else to also do the same thing then, because yeah, we've got Jim's in there then as well, and also their top welder and JDM further up the field also pitted as well. So it's actually our teammate Mando now who was into the lead of the race then. But yeah, still don't really feel ready for the slick tyres then. We're sliding about quite a lot still, and on the next time around then we've got both Mando and Cheesy in then, so that moves us back up into 5th place, as yeah, it is time to eventually go more towards slick tyres then. But yeah, Tombstone then has still stayed out then and is in the lead at the moment then. So yeah, they've continued to make it work for the time being. And then later on in the lap, Project has crashed out of the race, and that brings out a safety car. So that has actually worked out very nicely then for Tombstone, because now they can get their pit stop out of the way, go over to slick tyres, and yeah, they may well still be in the lead, or at least still quite high up the field then. We are going to take a little bit of a risk then at this stage and pit again here for the hard tyres, because I felt that they could go to the end from here. I think both Top Welder and JDM had already gone for the hards like before that, but yeah, Gamer had gone with me and gone medium, so I decided at this point we could probably take the hards to the end. Interestingly, Gamer did not do that and decided to stay out. So yeah, we've gone a different way this time, and we'll have to see then if this pit stop onto the hards works out for us then. I mean, if there's no more safety cars, then it should do, because yeah, I would have thought we could take these to the end. But we are obviously going to lose a few positions at this stage then, so yeah, we're going to be out then in, it looks like 7th position. Interestingly, Jim does have a drive-through penalty there, not quite sure what that's for. So it seems like quite a lot for some kind of safety car infringement, but nonetheless then they've got that, so that will be them out of the way at some point. But yeah, then crucially Top Welder's in with a 10-second penalty, so I think they must have actually sped under the safety car then, because they were coming in to actually clear that penalty, it looks like. Actually they were on the mediums as well, so they had, I guess, stayed out and then must have picked up the penalty and then decided, well, yeah, may as well pit now to clear that and also put the hard tyres on. But yeah, that's dropped him down the field then, and has put us up into 6th place on this restart with, yeah, as I mentioned, Jim with the drive-through penalty to serve as well. We're going to be back racing then at the start of lap 15. It's JDM leading the way from Gamer then in 2nd. Tombstone is up to 3rd now then, and Mando up to 4th with Jim in 5th, and yep, that's down to 6th. So it's, yeah, all mixed up then with that, well, the combination of the weather change and also the safety car there. But yeah, we're going to try and go on the attack then of Jim quite quickly here. Even though they do have the penalty, we want to be passed quite quickly and get after that leading group quite well as soon as possible really. And yeah, we're side by side. Well, luckily there's no barrier there, so we can't do what we did last time we were side by side with Jim, and yeah, completely ruin our race. But yeah, this time then we're managing to go around the outside and we're thrown up into 5th position. Crucially then we do have fresher tyres than everyone except for Tombstone up in front of us then, as yeah. And speaking of Tombstone, they do make a slight mistake there, then tap the back of JDM, and that drops them behind us then, and we're up into 4th position now then in the race, with our teammate Mando next up the road. Mando, of course, going into this race was about, I think, 38 points behind us in the championship, so not mathematically out of it yet. So, and they're in a good position here today as well to get a good result. So yeah, certainly not going to be getting many favours, I don't think, from our teammate today, because they're still very much in it, and as I say, a good result is certainly possible here. So we're certainly going to have to work for every position that we tried to get here then today, as Mando is now going on the attack of JDM and takes 2nd position then, and we're going to try and pounce straight away if we can here, not get caught up in any kind of DRS train, as we've got a great run out of turn 5 and we're going to be on the outside again for turn 6, but this time we just had just dipped a couple of wheels on the grass there, and that obviously hurt us quite a bit going into the corner, and yeah, we had to tuck back in behind for the time being. But yeah, this was just a story of these next few laps. We did get just stuck in the DRS train then as the 3rd car. We were struggling to make any progress, and yeah, we see JDM then back in front of Mando as they just traded places there for 2nd and 3rd. And yeah, that's how it was continuing then. But then on lap 20 then, coming out of turn 2, Mando just tapping the back there of JDM, put him a little bit out of shape, so we're going to be side by side here then, down this straight towards turn 4. Both of us getting a good run there, both of us had DRS of course, and with the inside line Mando just about manages to hang on for the time being. So yeah, we're still not making any kind of progress here, and yeah, we're just going to have to try and wait for the opening to present itself to us, and then yeah, we have to really just try and pounce on it when it does come. As here we go again then, Mando making the move on JDM into turn 4, and yeah, that's compromised JDM a little bit then, so we're going to have a great run this time towards turn 5, and we should have a little bit of a better line this time. We braked a little bit early, but we do get a great run around the outside here then, and then we're very late on the brakes into turn 8. I thought I'd gone a little bit too deep there, but it did actually work out quite nicely, because then it gave us the inside line for turn 9, and yeah, we managed to, well, I was just saying we had the place sealed there, but well, he did have another look at this then into turn 10, but we just about had enough grip to hold the position then, and we're up into the podium places then finally, and we'll see now then if we can get after our teammate here. Now lap 24, Kieran retires, and crucially that's a virtual safety car, not a full safety car. If it had been a full safety car there, then that would have been very much advantage to Gamer there, because on the medium tyres they'll be looking to pit any time now really to get off those tyres, and I think everyone else would have had to pit for fresh tyres, so that would have, I think, really benefited them very nicely there, a full safety car. So yeah, crucially only a VSC there, and they are now going to pit at the end of the lap, so that's going to drop them quite a way behind in this race, and once again it's presented us with a nice opportunity in the championship if we can make the most of it. But yeah, it's just our, well, at the moment then it's our teammate who's in the way of us then, and like I say, I don't think at this stage they're ready to start giving up a race win to help us in the championship. I think they very much want to be still trying to win some races here, which is absolutely fair enough. So yeah, we're going to have to work this race win then if we want to take it here today then. On to lap 26 then, where we will hopefully have a good run this time then, as we are quite close going into the first couple of corners, and we do have quite a bit of battery still saved up then as we go into the second DRS zone then down towards turn 4. Mando's going a little bit defensive then, but we've got the inside line then, and yeah, we see the gap and we've gone for it then up the inside, and we are through then and into the lead of the race, and we'll see now then if we can pull away and try and hold on to this lead for the rest of the race then, as we will see a replay now then, and yeah, we just had a good run. To be fair, didn't really fight that one too much on the inside line. I think maybe just because we had so much more straight line speed there, he decided it wouldn't be worth fighting it. I don't know, but nonetheless then we got into the lead then, and it was Top Welder then who was on the charge, of course, going back through the field after that penalty, who was looking like our biggest threat after that. So yeah, once again we were having to do what we did in Mexico and just try and use the battery as tactically as possible, just to try and maintain that 1 second gap sort of in the most important places, because our straight line speed down towards turn 4 seemed to be quite good. I think we were just getting a good exit out of these first few corners. It was really, the long straight from Junsao down towards the first corner where we were really under quite a lot of pressure in the race, so that was where I really wanted to try and get that 1 second margin. And I mean, it didn't make for the most interesting thing to watch, but it was a very tense ending to the race as we were just trying to manage the battery and just make sure we had that gap as we came out of the final proper corner. But nonetheless then it worked for us, and we're once again then going to find ourselves at the front of the field then come the end of the race. So yeah, very happy with this then. I mean, Mexico felt like a lifeline for us in the championship, but this feels like a big moment for us here then, as we are going to take the checkered flag, and for the second race in a row we have won the Grand Prix. So yeah, a big moment for us then. Top Welder in second, and it's a double podium for Aston Martin then in third. So yeah, a great result for us then as a team as well, and yeah, it's helped us massively then in both championships there. And yeah, very delighted with that one. It was another race of some great battling, and I was very happy to come out on top in the end. I think it was just getting that first safety car strategy call right, and then I think we were quite lucky in the end that there weren't any more after that, and it just sort of fell quite nicely into our hands in the closing stages. There are the provisional final results then. I've not seen any stewards reports at all come through yet, so maybe there weren't any this week, so this may well just be yeah, the final results as they are then. So yeah, we took the win by just under 2 seconds there from Top Welder, Mando right behind them then in third. A great drive there from 16th place for Cheesy there to finish fourth. He was very much just lurking right at the back of that lead battle for quite a lot of the race there in the second half. Game of plays didn't quite work out for them on that strategy. As I say, I think if that 1VSC had been a full safety car, I think it would have been absolutely perfect for them, and they would have probably gone on to win the race there, so they were quite unlucky with that in fifth. Tombstone in sixth. JDM, not quite sure what happened to him there, because he was in that lead fight until quite near the end, but yeah, in the eighth in the end. John in ninth, Liam, and then Kessler and Taze were the final points finishers. What that does mean for us then in the championship is that we have grown the gap out quite nicely then with that win. We're now on to 165 points with that result today, and Game of Play should be on 149, so that gives us a nice margin and going into the final two races. We should in theory just be able to follow Gamer home then in the final two races, although I mean it probably won't play out that way. There's a lot of very competitive drivers here, a lot can happen as well, so I mean it's unlikely that it'll play out that way, but that is good for us to know, I guess, in a way, that we do now have that margin. Unfortunately for Rowley, that non-attendance has made it quite difficult for him now then, still on 129. But Mando will be right up into the fight for third now then, and they should be on 121, so yeah, that fight could go right to the end. And I can't forget Top Welder as well, who will actually be on 116 if I've got that right. So yeah, still a lot to be decided, and whilst we do have a bit of a healthier lead now in the championship, I don't think it is anywhere near over. I've been racing long enough to know that, it's not over until the end, so yeah, we just have to keep on trying to do the best we can, and yeah, see how these final two races go. If I've got this right, I believe Aston Martin now lead the Constructors by 66 points going into the final two rounds, so we should be looking quite good to wrap that up in the next race, hopefully. I mean, we could in theory wrap up the drivers as well, but I think that will be quite unlikely. I think we need to have quite a lot going in our favour if that was going to be the case. But yeah, the Constructors certainly looking a lot more healthy for us at the moment. So yeah, big result there then, and I was very happy with that. Just another race with a lot of good battles, you know, some interesting strategic fights as well as, you know, on track as well. So a lot of fun, you know, very tense, you know, it's quite stressful every Friday, but, you know, we've come out on top. So yeah, can't have too many complaints. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see then how these final 2 rounds go. Next up is the Canadian Grand Prix, hopefully, although I have heard that there are apparently issues with the track apparently, so it may not be Canada in the end, but nonetheless it'll be something next Friday. So yeah, we'll see how we do then. And after that, then the finale is in Baku. So God, that could be absolute carnage. But you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, possibly Canada next week. But you know, if not, then well, you'll see what it is next week when we're there. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next week then for maybe Canada or whatever race it ends up being. Thanks for watching, and see you then.